What's going on, guys? JPB Duo here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Monday. And for today's matchup, we have a Prank Kids versus a branded Shaddoll with me as the prankster going first. Now, before we go into the gameplay, I would like to apologize for not being able to upload a YouTube video yesterday. And today's video, I think, is about 4 hours later than the usual time I upload. Again, I am sorry about it. And the second thing is that I want to wish you all a happy Diwali. It's basically an Indian festival that's going on right now, and that is the whole reason why I could not upload a YouTube video yesterday or today. I mean, today's video is pretty late, but I have family and friends over at our house, and I could not get to my laptop, anywhere near my laptop, to record the video and upload it on YouTube. So anyways, happy Diwali, guys. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend, and let's get in right on the gameplay. Now, looking at my current hand, you guys see I did start with a combo starter card, but unfortunately I started with 2 Ash Blossoms, a Skill Drain, and an Imperm. And looking at my opponent's deck list, he's playing a 60 cards deck list. So in this meta currently, if you ever are playing Prank Kids and you start with 2 separate named cards in your hand, I would suggest, if the opponent does not interrupt your combo, always go into a 2-card full combo. Go into a Roaster plus a Butler on the opponent's turn. Even if you cannot recycle your cards at the end of the turn, if you cannot add back the pranks to your hand. Because this meta is extremely back row heavy, and you want to get that threat on the field. If you manage to get the threat of Roaster on the field, your opponent has to think twice about sitting down back row. If the Eldritch player does not have a Kaiju or Lava Golem, they have to think twice about sitting down 5 cards in the back row, because you will be having 2 Harpy's Duster on the field if you go 2-card full combo into Roaster. Same goes for Flu. If your opponent is playing Flu, if they start with Map, you could just Harpy's Duster the map through the Rip-Roaring Roaster and be done with it. So a really good way in this meta. And anyways, let's keep going. I'm not going to ramble on about it, so let's keep going into our gameplay. Now, I do my full combo. We set down our Skill Drain, set down Imperm. I drew into a Call by the Grave off of the Roxy's Banish plus Draw, so we set down Call by the Grave as well. Opponent's turn, draw phase. We activate our Bow Wow Bark to get our 2 cards for the Butler combo into our hand. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you can look at it however way you want. This guy hard drew into a copy of Gamma. So the 6th card he drew into turned out to be Gamma, and since he controls no monster on the field, he can Gamma my Bow Wow Bark. It's basically a Call by the Grave is going to negate my Bow Wow, means I cannot go into my Butler. Thankfully, we had an Ash Blossom in our hand. Now keep in mind, guys, Gamma is not a once per turn, so if you do Ash Blossom the Gamma, keep it in the back of your head that your opponent can Gamma you again as long as they control no monsters. So right here, the Ash Blossom was extremely important. We want the Bow Wow Bark to go through, so our Butler comes on the field. Me Ash Blossoming the Gamma on my opponent's turn means that the Gamma, first of all, cannot negate spell traps. It can only negate monster effects, and once the opponent starts putting monsters on the field, that Gamma becomes a deck card in their hand. So it's really good for us. Our Butler still would get the field pop regardless. So standby phase, main phase, the opponent starts off his turn. He starts by activating a Fateful Adventure, searching for the Enchantress. We're okay with it. We don't care much about it. Then he pitches a copy of Free Shaddoll Wendy from his hand. This is when I knew he was playing Invoked Shaddoll Adventure. I believe he had the branded engine in there as well. So that's what my opponent was playing. Now this card states that if this card was sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck in face down defense. You do not want that happening because he can go for a Shaddoll Fusion from his hand. You don't want that happening because if the card that comes in the field is sent to the graveyard, it's going to activate its effect again. So right here, I just proceed to Call by the Grave the Shaddoll Wendy. Do not want that happening because again, the more cards Shaddoll players send to the graveyard, the more effects they will activate, the more trouble you will be in later down the line. So you want to negate out their cards earlier. Then the opponent activates the Enchantress, searches for the right. Now, we do not have to be concerned about this because he used the Fateful Adventure to search for Enchantress, to pitch the Wendy. So he cannot search for Griffin. He goes into his Draco Bag. Draco Bag targets out precisely my Pandemonium. Now, I do not know if this guy was stream sniping me when I was playing the game, because again, he had 3 separate cards to choose from, but he targeted my Pandemonium specifically. Now, this lets me to believe maybe he has something like Dark Ruler no more, or some way to negate out my Butler once my Butler comes on the field. That's what I was thinking at that point. So since we're forced to go into our Pandemonium, we go into our Pandemonium. And then Pandemonium leads to our Butler. Keep in mind, if you guys are new to the channel or a Prank Kids deck in general, on the opponent's turn, since you are doing this combo on the opponent's turn, you want to put all your cards face-up defense. Your specials from the graveyard will be face-up defense, but your Butler especially, you want to put it face-up defense, because again, Lightning Storm is a thing. Forbidden Droplet only targets attack, not defense. So 3k defense is pretty hard for someone to get over as well. So you want to put your Butler face-up defense, not attack. Then we activate all our graveyard activations, and since he's not putting Griffin on the field, I'm not going to use my Butler's first pop. Butler's first pop would just be useless right here. Obviously, we go into our 2 copies of Dropsies from our graveyard activations. Again, unfortunately, I drew into a copy of Dropsies, so I was forced to put the copy of Dropsies from my hand onto the field. Again, you do want to keep in mind Torrential Tribute is a thing. Your opponent could be playing a random Torrential Tribute, and if you normal out, let's say in this specific scenario like this, I would not put the Dropsies on the field from my hand. Let's say I save it to go into my play next turn in case my opponent somehow outs my field and leaves only 1 Prankers monster on the field. At that point, if he has his Torrential Tribute set on the field, I normal out my Dropsies, I get Torrential Tributed, my whole field's gone. So again, if you can, always put the 2 Dropsies on the field. Do not rely on your normal summon, is what I'm trying to tell you over here. So since I see the Fallen of Alba's normal, we have to pop the field. I cannot allow the Fallen of Alba's effect to activate to take away my Butler. Again, guys, keep in mind, once your opponent normals out the Fallen of Albas, the game tells you your opponent did something, do you want to respond to it? If you have the activation on, the game will tell you, do you want to respond to it with your Butler activation? Obviously, you want to click yes. Another big thing I have noticed, this is just from my personal experience in ranked matches, what the opponents do is they normal out the Albas to try to bait you into doing something, but if you don't do it, they will not even bother activating Fallen of Albas. What they will do is activate Super Poly from their hand and take away your Butler, which is extremely insane. Super Poly is a broken card. I've been hit with that strategy so many times in rank. So now whenever I see a Fallen of Albas normal, I just pop it. I do not wait, you just pop it. You do not want to get Super Poly, trust me. It's going to hurt you a lot. So does the opponent just passes his turn over. We go into our Totally Awesome. Then we go into battle phase. Since I do not have my Meowmoo, I have no way to recycle my Meowmoo. I just whack my opponent in the face for 5.2k, we end our turn. Now keep in mind over here, I have not activated either of my Imperm or Skill Drain. Again guys, another big tip for you, do not ever monkey flip your Skill Drain. If you are playing with Skill Drain, do not ever monkey flip it. You want to hold on to it until it's absolutely necessary for you to flip it over. So at this point, you guys see I'm not even flipping over my Skill Drain. I still have Imperm to go through before I even flip over Skill Drain. Now on the opponent's turn, I preemptively pop my Artifact Lancia again. A random pot or something that he wants to banish could happen. We do not want that happening. So with this, the opponent activates the Fateful Adventure, searches for the Griffin, and he pitches another copy of Shaddoll Wendy from his hand. So Shaddoll Wendy activates, he's going to chain block with his Griffin, it's going to resolve. I'm not going to use my Totally Awesome to negate anything at this point. I'm okay with all this. He puts a copy of Shaddoll Beast on the field with his Shaddoll Wendy. Then he puts down a card face down from his hand as well and passes his turn over. At this point, we know we have enough to lethal the opponent, and this was an insane draw, okay? This Call by the Grave right here actually won me the game. So you guys will see. If you guys see, I have lethal on the board. So let's get right into lethal. We are going to use our Butler on our turn, pop the opponent's field. That's going to trigger out the 2 face down set Shaddoll Beasts he had on the field. So one is Shaddoll Beast, one is the Shaddoll Squamata. Now if you guys know what these cards do, Shaddoll Beast only adds 1 card to their hand. Shaddoll Squamata, however, is going to special out a card on the field. So that is the card you wanna. Sorry, that is the card. It's gonna send another Shaddoll card to the graveyard. That is the card you want to negate because Shaddolls, as you guys know, if they keep sending cards to the graveyard, it's gonna add up extremely quickly, and you do not want that happening. So this Call by the Grave, as I told you guys, it's clutch. Call by the Grave comes in clutch. We Call by the Grave the Shaddoll Squamata. The Shaddoll Beast goes through, sure, he's going to draw one card and he's going to be pitching one card from his hand back into his deck. So, sure, Squamata gets negated, and in battle phase, we just use our Totally Awesome, whack him in the face for 2.2k, and that's game. So, you guys understand, skill drain is not a thing you have to flip over mandatory, it's on you. Do not ever monkey flip it. That's going to be it for today's game, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank it video uploads. And if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace!